Hey, beauties. All right, so I'm continuing on from part 2 to part 3 with the ex-satanist conversion story, his testimony. So they contacted him, the high order people, now he's a part of the occult. He's not just in the witchcraft, but a part of the occult. And they called him and said, you guys have to pack up and leave. Some of our people have died, have been killed because of this man of God, powerful man of God, John, whatever his name was. He said that when they come, it's like he will wreak havoc in the lives of these evil people. And they had to pack up and leave for a period. They said even after he leaves, it's like the Spirit of God, the angels, their spirit linger for 21 days. Now, who remembers when Daniel prayed and, the angel came to him and said, Daniel, your prayer was answered the first day you uttered it to God. But the prince of Persia, so the devil basically came and he put his principalities, his powers, his rulers of darkness of this world and spiritual wickedness in high places, buffers to block his prayer for 21 days. But Daniel was a determined man. He was a man who prayed 3 times per day. That is why it is imperative that we pray, P-R-A-Y, P-R-E-Y, against the demons and the devils, against principalities and powers, not wrestle against flesh and blood. We're talking about demons and devils and evil practices and so on. And be determined. Don't give up in our prayer and fight in the cause of Christ. So, they said that they had to even wait 21 days later, because what was happening, they were dying. It killed them. The power of God. Oh my God, when I just talk about Lord have his mercy. And they could not stay. So they had to pack up and leave. And that was when he started to slowly bend. The seed was planted for this introduction of a higher power than the devil, because he always figured that the devil was the highest. He didn't know. But it never resonated with him, because, there was no deliverance. He was not converted. But the introduction of a higher power was now, put before him, was promulgated, and they realized, because they said, if you stay, you will die. So they left, and then even after that, the John pastor man left, they had to wait 21 days and then come back. All right, so beauties, after they did that, and they would come and they would wreak their havoc and create mayhem and so on. They went on and did their different bidding and deeds and so forth. And interestingly, he said that, normally, he had children outside of wedlock and so on, but he didn't get into that part. It was towards the end that he realized that he had children. So beautiful people. So some time came, he said, time passed, and at school they would call him Master James, because they knew who he was. There was this young Christian girl. He was what, 20? He was going on to be 24, but he was in his early 20s. And there was this young Christian girl there on the campus. And God said to her, I want you to go and minister to James. But before that happened, there was something that was happening. So the people had summoned James from wherever they were and said, James, there are 20 or 21 illiterate women and one pastor, male pastor, that they have made a covenant, an agreement with God, that they're going to be fasting and praying every day for 90 days. That's 3 months. And for 6 hours. And the covenant with God is that they must be the only persons in that particular thing. So God said to them, not a problem. It's between 21 and 22 of them. I don't remember how many. So let us say 22 of them or 21 of them. No one else can join, just you guys. So they said that they're going to pray every day for 90 days and fast. Pray and fasting for 6 hours per day. And they all lived nearby. So it's not where they have to drive all the way from Spanish Town to Kingston. So it's nearby, even let's just say in the Kingston area, metropolitan area. So he said about 1,000 of them had to go to a conference because they were concerned. These are the top notches in the occultic world, the witchcraft world, occult, serious people that you would not believe. And the reason why I believed him, I remember somebody told me that they were coming back to Jamaica, I think it was, and they saw this nice looking person, a woman, and the conversation developed and so on, and the person said, yeah, you're coming for a conference, and the person said, okay, well, they said, what kind of conference, just out of curiosity. Because they said they're going to come. They're going to come and it's a conference. It's a demonic conference basically. They're going to find ways of breaking up marriages. So they're coming to plan ways of breaking and destroying marriages, and that was also a part of the St. James's mantra and their policies and what they were doing, destroying homes, destroying marriages, destroying families. And when he said that, I said, I think this man is telling the truth, because I remember when somebody told me of an experience, the person said they were shocked, they couldn't believe it, to literally hear somebody say that. And so they met and they told him, they said, listen to me, a lot of people tried to intervene and they died and so on. You cannot kill what God doesn't ordain. You cannot try to fight or annihilate solid Christian people. God will kill you. You will, that's what he's basically telling them. He will get rid of you. You will die. What you have to do is find a way of planting seeds of discord, offense, cause offense. I'm warning you, don't try to fight them. Don't try to attack them. He said fight and attack. Those are the two operative words he used. Because if you do, you will die. This is what the devilish people is telling this man, the same devil man. All right? So he said, okay, no problem. You have to, they are 40 odd days away from the 90th day. You have to find a way to stop this. And whatever amount of money you need, we can give it to you. So they gave him $500,000, like about US dollars or whatever it is. And he took 300 to deal with destroying them, 200 for their personal thing. So he said he recruited a few women. I tell you, you see, when you have men and women come together in unity, whether they're straight or not, it's going to be problematic, because let me tell you, so when a woman is full force behind something, you better understand. Why you think God, hear me God, why you think the devil basically through people sent Jezebel to marry King Ahab? They knew what they were doing, And so he said to the witches, this is what you're going to do. You're going to join the church. You're going to participate in things. Join the choir, join the praise team, whatever, prayer group, everything. And we're going to slowly get our way in. So they came back and they joined and so on. So they would go and they had to work their way in. So what time is going? Remember, it was 40 a day, so the time is winding down. So one day they had their prayer thing. They remember the 6-hour prayer for the 90 days. But before they were going into that, one of the witch women started to have a conversation with one of the women in the group. One of the women in the group, it was a seer. What I know about a seer is something I learned late. Like they can see in the spirit realm, they can see what is happening. When something is going wrong, they can see the reason behind it. It's like an ability from God that they can see. That is what they're dubbed as. She was a seer, but there was a loophole. The loophole was that she had unforgiveness towards her deceased mother. So whatever her mother had done to her or whatever it is, she still had unforgiveness in her heart towards a deceased mother. And they somehow realized that how they started to monitor them. So they had to go and research on their family history from like 10 generations prior to their current situation now. And they realized what happened. They got information because they said they got all 500 pages documents, yes, of information, and they research. And you know what one of the women which did start up a conversation, and like she would say, so how is your mother? And she just bring up some mother situation to watch it slowly irritate the woman. And as night follows day, the lady got irate. I don't know what she said. Maybe she said something like, and just as how you didn't forgive your mother or something like that. And the woman got so angry. And he said, she said she felt good. She said yes. And the lady get angry, because one of the things with anger, it eats away at your bones. When you allow somebody to get you angry, you've been now twice defeated, sort of a thing. Because he said, even in the devil world, he said, if somebody allows them to get extremely angry, they have been defeated. And so on. So so the lady said that, and the pastor came and said, no man, the same pastor who was a part of the prayer thing. This is a misunderstanding, whatever. And he said, had the pastor was a solid man of God. Some of these women were Christians, but what they were able to do, distract them from the gift of discernment that they had. Had they focused on their gift of discernment, they would have realized that this is a witch in their midst. He said that they could have done that, but the witch started to speak and distract them Distractions, guys.